Happy Cotton Bowl, Bob.
Records for points scored in a Penn State bowl game.
Taking the upright down. Good thing, because Riley Patterson would have kicked another one.
They're getting ready for the Cowboys-Redskins game tomorrow, which I'll be at. Get to see Jason Garrett's last game in Dallas. I'm pretty pumped.
I bet you are.
But let's talk about Penn State, 11-2. Some key losses, maybe some key defections coming very soon with some juniors making decisions. But, just a really interesting game that they played today. Had to dig deep against a team that was really had them on the run. Played very well, very hard. But the running game, the offensive line, and Micah Parsons were just brilliant today. And had they cut the run game started a little bit sooner, they might have had 450 rushing yards.
Yeah, at least. James Franklin said in his post-game news conference, Bob, that he had to get on the headset at one point and say what everyone watching the game was saying to Tyler Bowen, which was that, hey, why don't we run the ball a little bit more? So I thought Bowen did a nice job overall. I mean, obviously, there were times they passed. It didn't make sense for them to do so. But, I mean, you put up 53 points. How much can you cut the guy up? So, yeah, they, Sean Clifford just said that he has never seen holes that big in his life.
Yeah.
He said that it was just, every time, more often than not anyway, they needed the big play. They got one. And 11-2, far cry from my 8-4 prediction. But this team found a way to overcome some deficiencies. And you're right, some guys could be leaving here sooner rather than later.
Now, this will be the 7th year for James Franklin. 6 years, but I think it's fair to say that going into the 7th year, the offensive line might be the strength, along with the running backs, for the Penn State program. And think about where they were in 2014, 2015. They've come a long way, but that was a very good performance.
Yeah.
And I think they're only going to get better next year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think the other thing, too, you keep in mind is that they're going to have most of these guys back outside of Steven Gonzalez. Everyone returned.
Right.
So, depending on, we're going to put this up Sunday morning. We're talking Saturday night. KJ Hamler, as of this point in time, I think it's about 5 o'clock on the East Coast Saturday night, has not made a decision yet about whether he's going to leave or stay, or so he claims.
He's made it.
Journey Brown did say he's not even giving it any thought. He's not leaving. He's coming back. So I know there were some people
His
asking
stock
about
is
that.
up.
It sure is. That's an NFL performance on the NFL field.
Yeah. One thing as we look forward to, we saw Tyler Bowen try and call the game today. I think there were some good and some bad with that. Kirk Siraka, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, was here, the new OC from Minnesota. He had a really, really dynamic, I thought, offense with Minnesota.
Yep.
This team probably is going to have more talent, if not this year, than next year.
Yep.
In 2 years. What do you expect to see? What should we expect to see from his offense? I think the passing game is going to be much improved.
Yeah, I think so. He likes to run the ball. I think he ran it about 60% of the time at Minnesota. He's going to want to give both quarterbacks, I think, a good look. Obviously, it'll be Sean Clifford's job going into the spring, but I think new coordinator's going to have to let that play out a little bit and see if there's anything he likes better from another guy. But, Bob, I think the biggest thing, it'll look pretty similar, but I think you might see an under-center player, too, put into this offense. He did it with Tanner Morgan. I think they'll be much better in the short yardage situation.
One more thing we got to at least talk about it moving forward. Micah Parsons' 3rd year at Penn State. After what he did this year, after what he did today at the Cotton Bowl, I mean, he talked about it. He knows about it. He's a guy that the bigger the stage, the better he plays.
Yep.
He's done it his whole life. He's already in the back of his mind thinking about the Heisman Trophy. I would not put anything past him. Tremendous talent, always rises to the occasion. I think it's going to be a real interesting year covering Micah, and I'll be real curious to see how he handles the spotlight, because it's only going to intensify.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And any other final thoughts for the 2019 season, Bob?
It was a blast, and the next signing day is only a couple weeks away, and then we can talk about what's next for Penn State. But 11-2, I think, is definitely, they've exceeded expectations to win here, to do it, and to have to work for it. I think it was impressive. Last year I didn't really think their heart was in it in the bowl game. This year they dug pretty deep, and they're going to be good again next year.